Hi guys, Seven Trades, and as we are on the end of the third week of March, I'd like to make a short trade recap on the last trade of this week, which I took on the GBP So it was a break-even trade, and I will walk you through my thought process. And I think you have seen the record of the live trade which I took, and I'm going to break it down for you. So the whole thought process was already shared in the Telegram channel. If you have not yet joined it, you're missing out. So let's go through it. As you can see, I did what I had to do, but the market emotionally tested me. Why? So by going to the higher time frames, yesterday we seen a large range day, so I was not expecting much out of today, specifically as we displaced through uh, the previous day's low, which was this one. We displaced through the previous day's low on a GBP and essentially formed an SMT with Euro USD, because Euro USD has already breached has not yet breached the previous day's low by then, but it had already made an SMT with the GBP on the highs. As you can see right here, the GBP did not sweep this previous day's high, this Asian range high, whilst Euro did it right here. So from then on, as we were already below the 4-hour CB, which set up the move which cleared out the previous day's low, and we've seen these confirmational SMTs over there. I was expecting a continuation to the downside, specifically to reach at least the weekly open, because since the week opened on the GBP the price did not yet form a proper low. The price just pushed it to the higher, and we know that every full candle should have a top and bottom wick, yet the GBP had no bottom wick on the weekly time frame. So I knew that that was a clear and definite draw on liquidity. So that was my target. I was considering shorting by expecting this move higher in manipulation and seeing this divergence right here inside of this 1 hour CB. That was my yes to go through the lower time frame to see a lower time frame market maker sell model. So on the lower time frames, since the open of 8:30, when 8:30 opened, the price immediately shot to the upside. When price shot to the upside, it cleared out this buy side liquidity right here, which is the London high, and price displaced through it by this. I don't think you can see it, but you can go through your own charts. After 8:30, price formed a BC out of the range and a CB back into the range, and price closed below this point right here. Don't think you can see it. Closed below this sequence of up close candles. That was a clear change in the state of delivery, which happened after a retest of a valid PDRA and formation of SMT. This was enough for me to look for shorts. So I entered a market this was not a pretty favorable risk to reward, as I entered the market with minimum lot size, because this was a pretty huge stop size for me to take a short from, and price was kind of ranging even on the high time frames. So I was not ready to upload and to deploy the full position all at once, specifically after the 9 a.m. opened without a top wick, which is also the inverse of what was happening to the lower higher time frames. The weekly opened without a bottom wick, and 9 a.m. opened without a top wick, meaning that price could retrace deeply to make up for that top at any moment. So I went short at 8:40, targeting the weekly open, which was this sell side, and so far this is what happened. So you might be wondering what went wrong. The trade absolutely played out, but as I entered on this level, which I will show you later soon in the video, my executions have not yet been displayed on this screenshot, as I was already out of the trade, and trade locker sort of lags. And the reason what happened for me to take a break even today, after the price displaced to the downside a little bit, and price cleared out all these lows, I was expecting a deep retracement, specifically after 9 a.m. did not form a top wick when it opened. It shot straight down. Had it pushed to the upside above the intermediate term high, which was inside of this 5-minute CB, I'd have scaled in my positions, but price did not allow it. So that is why I trailed my stops to break even. I entered a little bit on this line, which you can see. Let me clear it and make it maybe red so that you can see it. I entered in this position right there. So when I trailed my stops, let me write it even clearer. I entered right here, and you know the spreads on the FX market are crazy. So I got wicked out, and the price eventually shot in my direction, and the reason was that I trailed my stops, but I was rushing to cover the losses to be risk free more than trading my stops above the protected high. There was not any protected high inside of this entire range, so that was a red flag mistake, which I realized I made too late, because I was wicked out by maybe like 1 pip, and then price shot in my direction. So that was the mistake I made. I was too protective of my position, even though I know I entered a little bit too late. And if we go right here on the position, you can see that price wicked out at exactly the equilibrium of this range, which price was being traded in. So if you look closely, this is the high and this is the low. The low is to the far left side. It is the low of the, I think it's the Asian low. So the price was just retesting the equilibrium of the range, and I trailed my stops a little bit. You can see that here it was 8:40. That was when I got my entry, and during the 9 a.m. price did not form any top wick. So essentially that is to mean that this week was balancing, making a top wick, or at least retesting it on to make a top wick before the hour ended, and then price shot in my direction to the actual drawn liquidity. So that's how I missed out on this potential profitable trade. You can see the executions, and I made a mistake because the first execution is the one on the right. That was the one before, and the one which was the last one is the one on the left side. So I think you get the point. That was how I got stopped out, and yeah, shit happens. So there is no reason to cry about it. I just had to learn from it and never do the same mistake again. So I think that's it. Hope you learned something from my mistake I made, and I hope that you already joined this free community right here on the top side. If you don't want to miss out on any free educational content, this industry is full of educational content, but you can level up with someone who is already on a journey, who has experienced some truth which might be painful, and I'm open to any advice which may come. You can put it in the comments and we will see how that goes. So enjoy your weekend and see you next time. So thank you.